Welcome, welcome, Travelweek readers. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to have you here. We have an amazing webinar planned for today. We've got Jake Rogers, who is the Area Sales Director North for Quark Expeditions, and he is going to share a fabulous presentation with us. Before we get started, I just want to go over a few notes of housekeeping. Number one is that we have an amazing prize attached to today's webinar. It is a $200 Visa gift card. Woohoo! So that's really exciting. For those of you who are here, who stay right through to the end of this webinar, you will be eligible for today's prize. So be sure to stay through to the end, and it will be a random draw. After today's webinar is over, you will receive an email where we announce the prize winner, and I will connect the prize winner with Jake as well. So thanks for being here and good luck on winning that prize. If you have any questions at all during today's webinar, please pop them into the Q&A box. So you'll see there's a chat that's open, and then there's also the Q&A. I'll be monitoring both throughout the webinar, but we'll ask the questions that come in through the Q&A live at the end of this webinar, so we can all hear the questions and Jake can answer them live as well. I believe that is all the housekeeping we have for today. So without further ado, I would like to pass you over to Jake. Hi, Jake. Thanks so much for being here. And
no worries. Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here. I will just add, I am in Lake Country, BC, where they're just fixing a few of the power lines and stuff today because we got hit with the fires. So if it drops off, please come in and let me know, and I'll quickly try and switch it over. But yeah, super excited to be here. Really excited to talk about Quark Expeditions and the Arctic. So yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, excellent. And yes, no problem. I'll be here, so I'll let you know. But we all know what it's like to be on a live webinar, and a little bit of noise here and there is okay. But I'll let you know if anything becomes an issue. So thanks so much, and looking forward to hearing it.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to take my video off so we can focus on the presentation. And
okay, awesome.
Let's do it. All righty. So Quark Expeditions, Arctic. So this is me. I'm Jake. Been around the block a couple of times. Bought the T-shirt. Absolutely loved the travel industry, more so the people in it. I'm very blessed to work for Quark Expeditions and the adventures I get to talk about on a daily basis. My last expedition was just recently, last week actually. I got back from Antarctica. I can talk your ear off for hours about expeditions, and if you haven't spoken to me before, please reach out. Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta, email, whatever it is you're into. I'm a millennial. Reach out. Let's make it happen. So let's start with what is an actual expedition. An expedition isn't your typical vacation. It's more of an adventure that consists of exploration and scientific research, where the daily schedule changes constantly and onboard scientists and researchers open their world up for you to witness firsthand. This is what an expedition is, and what a true expedition like Quark has to offer. At Quark, we are the leader in polar adventure travel. As I said in the last slide, we offer true expeditions whereby we explore some of the most hospitable regions in the world, but in an enjoyable, safe, and casual manner. While every expedition at Quark starts on a ship, the real adventure is what awaits off-ship. And that is what a Quark expedition is all about. With more off-ship adventures than anyone else, we dare to take you where few ever will or ever dream of going. We take guests to the ends of the earth, quite literally, as we focus solely on the polar regions, becoming the experts in those polar regions and taking you to untouched areas of the world that you simply can't see or visit on your own. We get to see polar bears at the top of the world in the Arctic, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Or south of the equator, way south, you get to see penguins in the Antarctic. Please don't confuse the two. I get that question a lot. Polar bears in the north, penguins in the south. As I mentioned, with over 30 years in just the polar regions and innovation running through our veins, we've become so well known for creating unique itineraries and experiences that we've set the standard for how to explore these regions. And by doing so, we have actually attracted the most experienced and the best expedition team in the industry. We have a high ratio of 1 expedition team member to 7 guests. These amazing individuals will make your trip even more unforgettable, giving you all the knowledge you seek. They will host presentations on polar history, glaciology, bird watching, marine biology, photography, ornithology, now that I can say that. I learned to say that over the last 2 weeks, and so much more. The poles are very unique and pristine areas, and is why we are doing everything we can to preserve them. Over the years, our crew, our expedition team, and even our guests have all witnessed the effects of climate change, and that's why we have developed the Quark Polar Promise. Our Polar Promise is a comprehensive sustainability policy that includes key initiatives like reducing emissions, reusing or recycling 100% of our waste. And we've set some pretty high goals for us as a company to adhere to. And every day, everything we do to make sure that we are on the way to beat those goals by 2025 and make sure we're having a positive impact on not only the environment, but the communities we visit. Following our Polar Promise to reduce our footprint, we've incorporated state-of-the-art technology to help us achieve those sustainable goals I've spoken about. We have removed all single-use plastics from our vessels, and we've worked with our hotel provider to replace individually wrapped items like butter, jam, cream, honey, that type of thing, to be bought in bulk, furthermore reducing our plastic use. Even little things like the LED lighting that we use that is 50% more better, or whatever the word I'm trying to think of, more efficient is what I was trying to say, using less energy. And by next year, we hope to have to achieve a 10% decrease on emissions per passenger, and we're well on our way to beating that. Another such way of reducing our footprint is by incorporating innovative sustainability features that exceed the industry standards. One such feature is our micro auto gasification system. I tell you to say that 3 times fast. Also known as MAGS. This system is industry leading, and it converts waste into energy at the site that it's generated, thereby reducing our volume by more than 95%. This eliminates the environmental impact of waste transportation. And from a community standpoint, Quark Expedition aims to be the leading expedition investor in outreach projects within the polar regions. Working with a wide network of scientists, community leaders, and sustainable innovators, our goal is to contribute a minimum of $500,000 US per year to in-kind donations for those communities we are going to. Just to talk quickly about one such initiative that we're working on is with the government of Nunavut, which in collaboration with Quark Expeditions and the local Inuit people, we are providing support and growth opportunities through the engagement of tourism on their land. This past Arctic season, we had interns on board our ships from the local communities, and this is providing them with the qualifications to work on board expedition vessels. This is just one such way we're trying to give back, not to mention provide our guests with a more immersive experience. Furthermore, to our commitment to our Polar Promise, we work with many scientific programs in the polar regions, such as Penguin Watch and Seabird Watch, where we bring scientists from world-renowned universities on our ships to conduct their important fieldwork and monitoring of penguins and seabirds. And the South George Heritage Trust, which during the height of the whaling and seal killing industry, rodents were introduced that spread and infested nearly 2/3 of the island's coastline. But thanks to this program, South Georgia was declared rodent-free back in 2018. And thanks to Quark funding, the program is now dedicated to the long-term biosecurity efforts to maintain that status, which includes, and I find this pretty awesome, specially trained rodent sniffer dogs that will come on board every ship that visits South Georgia. And of course, we are active members of both the Arctic and the Antarctic governing organizations, AECO and IATO, to help establish and enforce regulations that reduce the impact of tourism in the polar regions. Now let's talk about the Arctic, and that is why we're all here today, and what you can see and do with a Quark expedition. Here you can visit Svalbard in the high Arctic, Greenland, and even the Northwest Passage in our own backyard, the Canadian Arctic. The best time to visit the Arctic region is around our summer, so Spitsbergen between May to July, Greenland, July to October, and the Canadian Arctic, August through to September. In the Arctic, we offer something for everyone, from short, quick trips to long, more detailed itineraries. We have trips starting in the UK, Iceland, Greenland, Finland, and even Canada. So there is something for everyone depending on what they want to see or how far they're willing to travel. Spitsbergen, so home of the polar bear, with more polar bears than actual people. This place is also known as the Galapagos of the Arctic and is a bird watcher's paradise. It's located between it's located in Norway, but it's between the Norwegian archipelago and one of the most remote areas of the world. Fun fact, it's visa-free, meaning you can actually live and work there without a visa. This has created a very multicultural society and a very fun place to visit, not only for its wildlife and landscape, but its unique and friendly people. What can we see and do while we are in Spitsbergen? Well, there is a lot happening. We'll take you out in the Zodiacs and land you in some very unique places. You'll go for many walks or hikes, depending on your fitness level, as well as you get to explore small coastal villages along the way, including some inhabited towns. Each day will be a day filled with excitement and adventure, that's for sure. Can't guarantee that enough. This is high on my bucket list and many of my colleagues as well. From a wildlife standpoint, you can get to see many different kinds of whales, walruses, which you'll smell before you'll see. They absolutely reek, as well as reindeer. And for the fellow bird nerds out there, Spitsbergen, as I mentioned, has many, many seabirds because of its towering cliffs. And we actually go there during a certain time of the year. And we've made our trips to be there during the breeding season. So you get to see Arctic terns, skuas, long-tailed ducks, kittiwakes, puffins, and ivory gulls. But they are only there for a short period of time. So the good thing with us is we've made sure that you get to see those. Bring your big lens cameras and get some fantastic photos, especially for the ornithologists and bird nerds. And of course, there will be the opportunity for polar bear viewing. They are the world's largest land predator and biggest member of the bear family, with an adult male weighing well over 1,000 pounds. Our guides undergo specialist training on not only how to visit the polar bear territory safely, but on how to spot them in the wild. So you get the chance to witness these amazing creatures without disturbing them, watching them in their natural habitat. It is truly a remarkable experience. We have a few different itineraries to choose from, starting with our 7-day itinerary, Spitsbergen Highlights, which still has availability actually this year for 2024 departures. I'll talk more about the savings later on. But if you are thinking Arctic and you want to save some money, or you want to save some money for your clients, maybe you want to go as an agent, now is the time to be looking at 2024. I know it's coming up soon, but we have up to 50% off. We even have the Spitsbergen Explorer. It's 10 days in duration and a great way to see the highlights of the region. This itinerary is available in 2024 as well on the Ultramarine and Ocean Adventurer. And in 2025, the Ocean Adventurer is going to be replaced with the new and amazing Ocean Explorer. More on her later. The Arctic Saga is a fantastic itinerary starting in Aberdeen, Scotland, up to the Faroe Islands, finishing in Longyearbyen, then following a charter flight to Helsinki. A trip offering a range of different landscapes and countries to visit, 14 days in duration, and high on many, many of my colleagues, as well as my bucket list as well. A lot of these itineraries, my list just gets bigger and bigger every time I do a presentation. Then we have the epic Spitsbergen circumnavigation. This is 14 days in duration and covering everything you can possibly do in Svalbard. This itinerary offers you more opportunities to see the polar bears than any other, and will give you an in-depth look into this remarkable region of the world. Check that one out online. And you'll notice with a lot of our itineraries, we sometimes have these little dotted lines you can see on the screen. That is if conditions allow. In true expedition spirit, obviously we will try to do everything we possibly can, though we are dependent on the weather. Mother Nature is the one that determines where we go. Greenland. So Greenland is some of the most stunning scenery, from icecapes to unique communities. It's also a great place for hiking along the rugged coast and potentially spotting muskox in the wild. Located between the Canadian Arctic and Svalbard, with lots of coastline for us to go and explore. What can we see and do? Well, staying true to our off-ship focus, we have our Greenland Adventure program, offering such activities as mountain biking, heli landings, heli hiking, and even camping out in the Greenland mountains. I'll talk more about our heli program later on in the presentation, but if you are seeking adventure, then Greenland has this in spades. The Greenland camp experience really is unique and one-of-a-kind experience. It gives you the ability to roam the tundra with the local chef, who will show you your local ingredients and then prepare you an incredible meal right in front of you, while you can stay overnight in the most campsite in the world, accessible by helicopter. You can also ascend high above the glaciers onto the incredible polar plateau of Greenland ice sheet, which is the second largest ice mass in the world. This excursion provides, again, using our helicopters, a unique aerial view of some of the places we get to visit. You'll learn about the dynamics of this environment from our team of glaciologists while you're out there exploring. So hearing it from someone that's been studying the ice and actually being in the environment with them is just a truly unique experience. And during my words aren't with me today, still jet lagged a little bit. And during the shoulder of the summer season, you may get to see the Northern Lights. This is a true spectacle. I've only seen it once here in Canada. And if you haven't seen it, or if you've got clients that really, really want to do it, then this is the trip for them up into Greenland. Greenland departures, we still have spots remaining on our 24 season. So now is time to look at those. And as I said, save some pretty big discounts. But you can also book into 2025. The Greenland Explorer, it's a great way to see and experience this amazing place. It includes World Heritage Sites, the Greenland Ice Sheet, local communities, and maybe see the Northern Lights on this one. 11 days in duration. Gems of the West is a great way to experience the real Greenland culture and go deep into fjords and cool little islands off the coast. Another little short one, 12 days long. So, you're not taking off huge amounts of time to go on these trips and is in and out from Reykjavik. And in 2025, we changed Gems of the West itinerary to actually start and finish in Toronto. So this is amazing for us Canadians, as no international flights are going to be needed. So not only will you save some time, you'll also save some money, and it is just so easy. Straight to the airport for those that obviously live in Toronto, or a quick little domestic hop, skip, and a jump for us that live over here in the West. Also in 2025, we have the epic South Greenland adventure. This one is 13 days long and covers a lot of miles. Again, start and fish in Toronto, and super excited for this one. That trip from Nook down to where we start exploring is a full day at sea, which is exactly what you need when you first get on board an expedition, especially this one in particular. As you get all the briefings and safety briefings out of the way, you learn about how the helicopter operations operate, as well as you get familiar with the ship and get in a bit of a routine. So by the time we do get exploring and start doing the off-ship adventures, you are in a complete routine and ready to go, making it a little bit easier. Now check this one out. Wild Fjords of South Greenland. This trip starts in Reykjavik, Iceland, which is a huge draw card to many. It continues up and around the southern tip of Greenland, and then a charter flight back to Toronto. Very cool itinerary indeed, offering you, completely different cultures and countries, as well as, a really cool place to go and explore around the southern tip of Greenland there. Onto the Canadian Arctic. The Canadian Arctic has fascinated explorers for centuries. It's located I don't really need to tell you guys where it's located. You know where our own backyard is, so I don't need to show you. But it is our backyard, and it is something that we should definitely be looking at and doing as Canadians and checking it out. Yes, I'm Australian, but I'm also Canadian. But if you haven't thought about doing the Canadian Arctic, or you have clients that maybe wanted to do this at some point, this is the time to send them and start looking, because there are some incredible deals and itineraries to be booked. There are incredible experiences and adventures to have while you're up there, as I've said, from visiting small little Inuit communities. You're going to go into fjords. There's hiking through the fossil forests and soaring over these landscapes by helicopter, which again is unique to Quark. Kayaking, Zodiac cruising, if you wanted to get out there and use the kayaks, as well as the Zodiac is something that you're going to be doing sometimes multiple times a day. If you haven't thought about exploring our backyard again, like I said, please start looking at it. Jump on our website to get more information, or you can reach out to one of us on the team. The wildlife you may get to see up there include the Arctic fox. These guys look much nicer in winter, but yeah, that's what they look like in summer. The Arctic hare, muskox, and even seals. The expedition team, they will teach you on how to spot these little critters and make sure that you get that perfect picture or that perfect experience, whatever it is that you want to do. Obviously, a lot of us out there want to get that perfect photo, and they will make sure that you get that. There's a lot of history to be found up in the Canadian Arctic also, including Beachy Island. I think that's how you say that, Beachy Island, where it's a graveyard for past explorers and some whalers. So there's lots to see and do from not just only the cultural standpoint, but also the history and obviously the wildlife, as I said. Canadian departures that we got. So you can do the 9-day Arctic Express Canada. This starts in Calgary, nice and easy. And again, saving some dollars, not having to worry about international flights. The itinerary is great for those wanting a shorter adventure and not worrying about traveling too far. Well, I wouldn't really say shorter. It is 17 days. Sorry, I'll put a little, oh wait, hold on. Sorry, my computer's frozen. Bear with me, guys. There we go. There, perfect. Yes, this is the shorter itinerary. And then on the next slide here, you can see which came up on my screen first, but then froze, the 17-day itinerary here. This is in the footsteps of Franklin, starts in Toronto and flies into Greenland, where you pick up the ship and head on over to the Passage. finishing off in Resolute for a charter flight back to Calgary. So this one, again, is high on that bucket list. I don't know if I could ever get the time to do it, though, 17 days. But for those people out there, empty nesters, those clients of yours that aren't necessarily worried about having to take time off work, this is the itinerary for them. And it is an incredible itinerary to not only see Greenland, but up into the Canadian Arctic and then flying to Calgary. There's also the 12-day Canada's Remote Arctic Adventure, in and out of Calgary again, and available through to 2025, and some spots remaining on 24. There are also many deals available right now for Arctic adventures, including this one. So if you, as I keep saying many times already, guys, if you are looking at trying to save some money, or you have some clients that are price conscious, or they want a deal, 24 departures to these itineraries, especially in the Arctic, and this one here in particular for 12 days in and out of Calgary is what you should be looking at and talking to your clients about. And for our food lovers out there, this Arctic season, we are bringing back the tundra to table on select departures. This is where guests can enjoy modern Inuit fuel-style cuisine. Didn't really know that was a thing. We're reflecting on the culinary traditions of the region. They will bring out their history and culture through food. This is an incredible experience. And to give you an idea of the menu, dry salted caribou with a whole bunch of things I can't pronounce or really say or even really understand. But this, again, is true to Quark, wanting to give you a unique and incredible experience, not just off ship, but on ship as well. Now let's move on to our fleet. In the middle, we have the amazing World Explorer at just 172 guests. On the right, the new and exciting Ocean Explorer with its unique X-bow design. This gives her a smooth sailing experience, especially in rough seas like the Drake Passage. And the Ocean Explorer also has 138 guests. She's a 1A or PC6 ice-rated beast, which means she's coming just under a category of an icebreaker. And then the crown jewel of the fleet, designed and built by us, taking into account our 30 years of experience in the polar regions. She's purpose-built at 199 guests, and again is a 1A or PC6 ice-rated vessel. All of these are unique in their own way, and they offer everything you'd want from a base camp at sea. They are luxury for sure. Taking a closer look at the Ultramarine, she has great big rooms with everything you'd want from a nice fancy hotel, that bright light, the wooden finishes, and a lot of room to move, which is important with an expedition. You want to have that space to be able to come back from being out all day and just to relax and chill in your room if you don't want to be up in the lounge or the bar. We also have some incredible upgraded options like the penthouse suite, which sadly I think is a little bit bigger than my first apartment. Very, very nice room indeed. If you have those clients that want those finer or larger rooms on board our vessels. We even have the spa, sauna, and fitness center on board, which is important, especially when you've been out exploring all day. You might be a little bit wet, a little bit tired. You want to come back and just relax and sit in the sauna. And what is not pictured here and on the Ultramarine is a steam room. I've never seen it or been in a steam room before, but after my 2-week adventure recently around Antarctica, the fresh smell of eucalyptus, I went in there and I basically spent my entire time not when I wasn't off board the ship in the steam, just soaking it all in and having a great time. As I said, many things to do off ship, but there's also a lot of things to do while you're on ship as well, and have those finer luxury amenities that you'd expect. What I personally love about the ship is that it's designed to offer our guests the ability to see and experience the amazing destinations, not just off ship, but also on board. So with the walk around decks, the floor to ceiling windows, panorama lounge, even outdoor viewing areas. So the adventure doesn't have to stop when you're back. You can still run around the ship trying to spot whales, or, in my experience recently, having, leopard seals circling the boat. It doesn't have to stop even though you're back on board the ship. You can still get some incredible photos, and some of the best photos I took were on board the vessel. And designed for efficiency, we have our 2 ready rooms. This allows guests to change in and out of their expedition gear in one spot. And if anyone has ever done an expedition before, you know how important it is to have this ready room. It makes logistics so much easier, as all of your wet gear can be stored in one dry, heated location. And having all of your polar gear in one spot gives you that extra room in your cabin. Like, let's face it, these jackets that we're giving you, they're quite big and bulky. You got your boots, you've got your pants, you've got your undergarments, you've got all of this stuff that you're going to be taking, as well as life jackets. And having it all in this one location It provides you just so much more room to move in your cabin, as well as it's easier when they're calling you, you come down, you get changed, you go straight out and you're done. There's also an internal Zodiac hanger, sorry. This allows for a quick deployment of about 20 Zodiacs. This is a very crucial aspect of expeditions as the weather changes so quickly, and having the ability to allow for more spontaneous off-ship adventures is what an expedition is about. The unique design allows for guests to get off the ship in half the time of other vessels. And a massive difference again with us is our vessel size. So every single guest can get off the ship at the same time. Rather than having to wait around half a day waiting for your group to be called, we can get everyone off, obviously, into the environment, whether that be Zodiac cruising, landings, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, and I'll go into all of the off-ship adventures in a minute. Now, to top it off, imagine soaring over these polar regions from the comfort of a helicopter and enjoying the most outstanding aerial views imaginable of the polar regions. The Ultramarine, she has two twin-engine Airbus H145 helicopters, which are the most fuel-efficient aircraft of its category. They're also designed and built to reduce noise pollution, with the main rotor wingtips not breaking the sound barrier. So we'll also make sure that you get a window seat. You know, on my last trip, every single person had a window seat. They are 7-seaters. We just had 6 on board, but where we can do and the experiences we can offer with these helicopters is just second to none. Jump into what to expect the off-ship, because that, again, and I've said this multiple times already, is what Quark Expeditions is all about. Getting you into the environment and making sure you have the best experience and see everything there is to see that you possibly can. We have more off-ship adventures than anyone else, and that is a huge takeaway. Please write that down, take a screenshot, save it, lock it up in your memory. When someone comes to you and they say Quark Expeditions or they say Polar, think of us, because we will give them more options in the environment when it comes to us. We have a wide variety of included activities, such as Zodiac cruisings and landings. This is one of the big draw cards. This is something you're going to be doing a lot of. Hiking adventures for all different fitness levels. And for the crazy few of us, we have the polar plunge. I won't be doing that again. And flight seeing is an included activity. Yes, it is included. A lot of people don't understand this. Flight seeing is included. You can beef up your experience with us with some paid options. I'll talk more about those in the next couple of slides, but flight seeing is included when booking on the Ultramarine. And if you wanted to beef up your experience, as I mentioned, we have sea kayaking, heli hiking, heli landing, alpine kayaking, paddle excursions, even hot air ballooning on some of them. I haven't seen that on offer yet. That is something we used to do, and I think we're bringing it back. Stand-up paddleboarding, mountain biking, and camping in Greenland and Antarctica. But let's dive into our heli program just a little bit more, offer a little bit more detail on that. The whole idea of our heli program is to allow to take our guests to places where people have very rarely ever gone or haven't gone at all. It is truly unique and an extraordinary experience. And some of the locations, you have to see and be there to understand what I'm talking about. Like landing on the ice sheet in Greenland and going for a hike with a glaciologist. I've spoken about this already before, but like this is just something that people love, and it is why people are booking our expeditions over the competitors. And the Greenland camp experience that I've mentioned a few times already. This again is only accessible by helicopter and very, very unique to Quark. But we also have, and we use the helicopters to fly you up the mountain so that you can bike down. Pretty cool if you ask me, and just taking that adventure to the next level. Or you might want to try heli landing, where we take you far into the mountains, away from everyone, where you really do gain that sense of adventure. As well as for our hikers, we have heli hiking. So this will give you the opportunity to hike to places no one has actually ever been for. Some of our helicopter pilots will guarantee that no one has stepped foot where you have stepped foot. And listening to my my colleague present on this and has done this itinerary recently, or last year, sorry, and telling us that he literally has gone where no other human has been. Like, who can say that these days? And that is the type of expeditions we're offering and the destinations we're going to. Now, wrapping up here, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Just hit the 30-minute. I want to have some time for Q&A, but I wouldn't be a very good rep if I didn't talk about our Polar Partner Portal. So please, if you haven't registered yet, please, 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 I can't stress enough, do so. Take a picture of that. That is the QR code. Sign up now. Do the training when you have a moment. There is a lot of information available to you, including Parker the polar bear. So please take a photo of that. I'll change in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Parker the polar bear, he's our integrated AI bear where you can ask any question regarding Quark and he will give you the answer, like how big is the penthouse suite on the ultramarine, or when's the best time to see whales in Antarctica. He's there for you, and so am I, and so is the team. Our team is fantastic. But how great is it knowing that you can just jump online, go to the portal, and start talking to Parker and get the answers that you seek? Even have him available when you are talking to your clients over the phone or in front of you in the office. And if you're getting hit by questions, you just don't know the answers, use Parker. Right now, you can save up to 50%. I've mentioned this a few times already on Arctic 24 departures. There are only a few days remaining for this sale. It does end on March 31st, though I just did get an email literally 10 minutes before I jumped on the call here today with some more sailings coming available on April 2nd, and these are up to 50%. I didn't want to include the departures just yet because we will be rolling that out over the next couple of days, but take advantage of these sales. They're not going to last forever, and save some money for your clients and get some bookings for yourself. Solo travelers, a huge part of our business, and I'm sure many of your clients make up this demographic. At Quark, we are very solo friendly. We have many discounts on offer, shared options available as well, so they can keep the price down. And huge opportunity for solo travelers to get to make some lifelong friends in some incredible destinations. So jump on the website, check out the dates and rates section, and you'll see what's on offer for our solo travelers. And why not get paid your commission early? This does end March 31st, so be quick, but a great incentive for you to take advantage of. Where you can get your commission up to 59 days prior instead of the 30 days after departure. Another great incentive for more money is any booking made for Arctic 2024, you will receive a $250 Visa gift card. Please check out the details online. There's just a bit of a little process. It's not complicated for you to be able to get this. It doesn't just happen automatically. So please reach out to me if you're unsure, or have a look on the partner portal. But take advantage of, here's an offer for you to make some more money. Not only are our commissions incredible, but here is a $250 Visa gift card just for you. So please check that out. Lastly, for anyone who completes our online training and takes advantage of making a booking as well by doing the training, you will get a $100 gift card for just doing the training and making a booking. So if you have a booking coming up, or you've got one that you know is, or an agent that you know, or someone that's going to book, do the training first, and there you go, $100 in your pocket, and I'll send it out to you. Some great incentives here, and now is a great time to be selling Quark. More money in your pocket. I just hit you with a lot of information. I'm sure some of it stuck, some of it maybe not. Could be the accent, could be that I've gone a little bit quick because I do have a lot to cover, and I want to hit you with everything at once. But I have created a brand new Facebook group exclusively for agents in Canada, where I am constantly sharing promotions, uploading videos and pictures, as well as you can just reach out to me. It is another communication tool where you can contact me, or someone on the team will get back to you and will answer your questions as soon as possible. But right now we have Parker the polar bear, you have the customer call team, you have myself, and now you also have Facebook. So there are lots of options there for you to be able to get in contact. That is me, and now I am ready for some questions.
Thanks so much, Jake. That was such a great presentation. Just wow, so many amazing options with Quark. And yeah, now I'm like, how can I put this into my itineraries for 2024?
Is my video working? I can't see. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Is my video working?
Yep, your video is working. We can see you, and
my computer's completely frozen. Oh, good. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Yep, we can see you, and we can see. Okay, now your video. Oh, now your video came back on. There you go. We can see you, and we see the share screen up as well.
All right, there we go. Fixed. There. Now I can see myself.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
No problem at all. Okay. Yeah, we have lots of questions. We had lots of comments coming in too, just saying how beautiful the pictures are, and wow, a lot of agents who want to experience this for their clients. So lots and lots of enthusiasm over the presentation. So thank you for that. Yeah, and I will get into the questions. Beginning with Leanne, she is asking, is there a certain level of fitness that clients need to be in order to attend any of these adventures?
Yeah, so some of the adventures that we offer, you do need a certain fitness level, and with our expeditions, there is a medical. So determining on what the response is from your client, they may or may not actually get to do that. But that's the whole idea of the medical, is determine if they are physically fit to do that. I'm not saying you need to be, Lance Armstrongs of the world to do these trips. But the great thing is we have something for everyone. So our expedition team, they are, pretty good at determining who should do what adventure option we have on options or we have available that day, and they won't be afraid to walk up to someone and say, hey, maybe you should sit this one out, or here's an alternative. So yeah, there are certain fitness levels for, obviously some of the activities we have on offer, but there is something for everyone.
Okay, great. Thanks for answering that, Jake. Our next question comes from Suzanne, and she's asking if you have an opportunity, though it may already be a topic in your discussion. No, he didn't talk about this in the discussion, Suzanne, but this is about group bookings, Jake. So Suzanne's asking, can you briefly review how to plan for a group booking in 2025 or 2026?
Yeah, of course. You know what? Bad BDM, bad. I should have included group information. But our group information or how our groups work, we're pretty flexible, and we like to have a bit of an open and honest conversation with our agents on what they are trying to achieve or what they want out of that. If it's just to get a group of 10 people, we can look at what we can do to help you incentivize that, discounts, FOCs, TCs, or whatever you want to call it. If it's just a smaller group, we can look at potentially offering a discount to those people or to the agent themselves that might want to host it. There is a lot on offer when it comes to groups. So the best thing to do is just to reach out to your local BDM, and we can have that discussion with you and work out, the best rates and discounts and TCs and everything. So there is no set standard with us. We're very flexible, but we want to work with you and make sure that you get what you're after.
Awesome. Thank you for answering that, Jake. Lots of great information in there. Betsy is asking, this would probably be a good question for your polar bear that you can ask questions to. I forget the name. Sorry.
Parker the polar bear.
Parker the polar bear. This would be a good question for him too. Betsy is asking, where is the best place to see narwhals on a Quark Expeditions tour?
Probably the Canadian Arctic in our own backyard. I have a promotional video that I've used. I don't use videos virtually because they don't really work, but when I do presentations in person, I have a couple of videos when we talk about the Canadian Arctic that in the same frame, in the same shot, has the narwhal and the polar bear behind it. That's very rare. Wow. And I will be quite honest, narwhals, they are not that common, though we have seen them on some of our trips. And the most popular or best place to see them would be the Canadian Arctic.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for that. Another question from Leanne. She's asking, can you accommodate guests with dietary restrictions?
100% we can. On every meal, there is a vegetarian option, as well as at the start of the trip, the maitre d' will introduce himself on day one, and he will ask anyone that has dietary requirements to come up and see him personally, and they will factor that in and obviously make sure that you get what you can eat or want to eat. Yeah, so 100%
Excellent.
yes.
Excellent. Thank you. Dominique has a few questions here. First about single occupancy supplement. So is there one for all bookings? Is there a time when single occupants can book and that can be waived, etc.?
Every single departure and trip is different. Revenue management dictate what we have on offer for single occupancy. So the best thing I recommend to do is use our website, the dates and rates. Go to the partner portal and go to the dates and rates section, and that will give you what discounts are on offer from people wanting to book the penthouse suite down to solo and shared options as well. So dates and rates is your best tool when it comes to what is on offer for each individual trip for solo.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jake. Dominique has a few more questions. Dominique, I'm going to ask your last question first and then your other two questions together after, because I think they're related. So first off, are gratuities included in the price?
No, they're not. That is up to you. That's discrepancy, but you don't have to tip if you don't want to. We understand, we have many different cultures on Australia. We don't tip. So, those probably people won't tip. Like, it really is dependent on you. But what I have noticed in just getting off the ship recently, the service and the experience and the adventure that people had, everyone was coming up because they knew that I worked for Quark, asking, I want a tip. Who do I give it to? How do I do it? And they do talk about how to tip and everything on board the last night. So, it is discrepancy. It is up to you. It's not like it will be taken out of your account at a certain dollar amount per day. It's completely up to you as an individual and what you feel comfortable tipping, if you feel so that you want to.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And then lastly, from Dominique, she's asking about fan trips or seminars or a travel agent rate. How do you offer those? And if so, how can our travel agent community access that?
Good question, and a question that every single BDM that I know probably gets a lot of. And, at the end of the day, I'm a strong believer in FAMs. Unfortunately, with Quark being much smaller vessels, we don't tend to do the larger hosted FAMs that I've done in the past with other companies. So the best way to get a FAM is to join our Facebook group. I actually offered one last week on there. I asked for people to basically email me why it should be them. And I got, over 40 or 50 people with why it should be them. And I went through all of them with a fine tooth comb and I found the perfect candidate. And I emailed her. Well, I rang her yesterday and said, congratulations, you're off to Spitsbergen. So yeah, they are available. They are becoming more and more accessible, these FAM opportunities, as well as discounts. We do friends and family rates at sometimes up to 70% off. But to be a friends and family, you have to know me. You have to know your local rep. And I am a strong believer in being an agent myself once. Is develop those relationships with your reps, because that is how you're going to get FAMs and opportunities and discounts. Let's face it, we can only offer to people that we know, and people that we know that are generally wanting to do this to better their business and to grow their sales. We will offer FAMs to people that we see the best ROI. And that is all of the people I've sent recently. And the person I rang yesterday is because we see a great opportunity here, not just for the agent to go and have a once in a lifetime experience, but for Quark to be able to, increase our sales and grow with our agent community. And that is how we do FAMs.
Thank you for that. And yes, absolutely. Sounds great. And there's so many ways for our agents to get in touch. That you have the education that you offer as well, which is probably, I'm assuming, a great place to start as well, especially for travel agents who just are wanting to get into selling Quark.
Exactly.
Great. Thank you for that. This question comes from Suzanne, and she's asking, can clients book the activities they want to participate in the moment they make their initial reservation?
There are certain activities that can be booked in advance, and there's some that will be booked on board the ship as well. So ones like the heli operations, like heli landings, heli hiking, those can be booked well and truly in advance, and even kayaking. So other companies out there, they don't allow you to pre-book some activities, but what we've done is we allow you to book those big ticket items in advance, and that allows you to know that you're going to potentially get to do that if the weather is in our favor, right? I always have to say that, right? Expeditions is always weather dependent, but with other organizations that you can't always book, you go on there hoping you might get to go camping in Antarctica. With us, you can book that in advance, and if you have a client that wants to definitely go camping in Antarctica, but they can't on that particular departure, well, then book a different one. That's why booking in advance is such a great option with us, and knowing that if the weather is in our favor, you are going to get to do that, rather than getting on board and going into a lottery and hoping you might get to go kayaking or hoping you might get to go camping. So, pre-book definitely is something you can do with us.
Okay, great.
Dates and rates. I can't stress that enough. Website, dates and rates, partner portal, dates and rates again. It's all the same. And it will show you what's available, discounts, as well as the pre-bookable options on every single itinerary.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We can hopefully share that link as well to the partner portal in the follow-up email. And then all our participants will have access to that as well through the follow-up. Suzanne is also asking, has this been recorded? Yes, this is being recorded, Suzanne, as all our Travel Week webinars are. You will get a link to the recording of this webinar after it has ended, typically in about a 24-hour time period. Also, all our webinars, including this one, are posted on our Travel Week YouTube page, so you can access it there as well. Okay, we've got Dominique is asking about a rep in Quebec. Is there a different rep for Quebec?
We have Laura in the east. She is French Canadian and lives in Toronto. So she is the rep for the east of Canada, including Quebec.
Okay, great. And in order to get contact information, as well as to make sure our travel agents have your contact information, Jake, I know you mentioned the Facebook page. There's also the travel agent portal. What is there any other way that they can get that? Can we share that with them in the
Yeah,
follow-up or?
I can follow up. I can share my information. It's the best way to get in hold of your rep is to jump on the partner portal, and there is the information for each individual rep, and the territories we cover is on the partner portal. Other way to do it would be just to call the number on the website and ask who your rep is. They'll ask where you live and they'll give you the information. Nice and easy. But
Okay.
please,
Yes.
I want all Canadian agents to join that Facebook group. That is how millennials like me are going to be communicating moving forward. If you don't have Facebook, no worries, no harm, no foul. We're obviously going to go down the typical marketing and everything we do when it comes to promotions, but please use that Facebook group for sure.
Okay, great. Maybe we can include a link to that too in the follow-up as well. And so for those of you who haven't joined already, you can join via that link. That looks like all our questions for today. Oh, I see here one in the chat from Louisa is asking, what is the minimum for a group booking?
Again, being flexible allows us to be able to work closer. We do tend to do 10, 12 minimum. But again, like if this is something that you come to us and say, this is my first group ever, I know I have guaranteed 10 people. I'm not sure if I get any more. We'll work with you to try to make sure that you not only sell those 10, but potentially get more. For example, recently I went and did a consumer event in Calgary because we've got a group booked, and it went really, really well. I went out to Niagara and did a presentation out there, and we saw bookings come in immediately the day of and the next day and following couple of weeks after that. So that group that was at 15 is now going out with 28 people, because my personal opinion is, yeah, you're an agent, you can sell, but the best way to sell our product is to get us as your rep or your Quark person in front of your consumers. And if you're willing to do that and you are showing enthusiasm and you want to do it, I have no problem flying across the country or getting Laura to do one for you as well. That's what we're here for, and that is what we do.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That's amazing. We have lots of thank yous here coming in from Leanne and Suzanne and Angela and Catherine, just saying thanks. This was a great presentation. They're really grateful for all that you shared today. So again, thank you so much for being here, Jake and Quark Expeditions. It is really a pleasure to have you on and to be able to share this information with our Travel Week community. So thanks again. That is the end of our questions for today. Is there anything else that you wanted to add, Jake, before we say goodbye?
I will just add one thing. I've done many expeditions. I've been lucky to work for a couple of different companies in the past, and I will wholeheartedly say, without a lie, I do believe we do expeditions how they're supposed to be done, and in a way that you will have a life-changing experience. I know that term gets thrown around quite often, but I can't stress enough how I've witnessed this firsthand with even just recently with FAMs and agents going down and coming back and saying, Jake, I want to sell nothing but expeditions anymore. Obviously, that's not viable. Continue selling whatever it is that you sell, but expeditions is where it's at. If you want to make good money, work smarter, not harder, sell expeditions and sell Quark. Easy.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And thank you to our Travel Week readers who are here today for the webinar. Congratulations to all of you who have stayed through to the end, because you are now also eligible for the $200 Visa gift card. So please watch your emails, stay tuned for the prize announcement. And in that prize winner announcement, you'll also receive all the follow-up links that we were talking about as well. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks again, Jake, Christina. Thanks so much for being here. And until next time, take care.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.